Hi all, very good evening to all of you. This is Manish from Test Prep Cart, and today Arush Lal, who belongs to Haryana, Delhi NCR, and his All India rank in NEET in 2023 is 548. He basically is the right brain just to give all of us an insight into NEET, right? That is it. So the thing is that we would first like to know, there are some questions, Arush, of which we shall try to find the answer. Currently, the people all over the world, in Middle East, all 6, 7 countries, in Southeast Asia, Singapore, Japan, Indonesia, Malaysia, Thailand, and all. Here in India, mostly people in the metropolitan city and above all in US, people, they're watching us, right? Only for the reason that they would like to know basically your insight into NEET. Okay.
Okay.
So we are today very candid with Arush. Today we are exclusive with Arush. That's it. It's a fine evening set out there, so the all ambience is set. And let's start this conversation with Arush. All right. Arush,
Yes, sir.
the thing is that what basically is NEET as an examination? How do you see?
So, NEET, I believe in today's time is, as we know, it's an entrance examination, but it is also a competitive examination. And by competitive, I mean that there are this year 25 lakh people appeared for a very limited number of seats, and also it's become very easy. So it's while the paper is easy, but the competition is high. So that makes it an examination in which the most typical thing is there's very little scope for error. So that is how I see NEET today.
Okay. So thanks. Now the thing is that could we know something about yourself? Where did you complete your schooling?
Okay, hi everyone. I'm Arush Lal. I'm currently studying in Maulana Azad Medical College. And as Sir said, my All India rank was 548. I'm from Gurgaon and I completed my schooling at Sun City School in Gurgaon.
So when did this dream flourish that you have to go for medical? When?
Um, it was there since the very beginning only. I had an interest since I come from a background where I've seen medicine from a very young age because my parents are also incidentally alumni from MAMC only.
Great.
So I it was there since a very young age. In ninth or 10th, I was a little conflicted, but eventually I decided on medicine as the career that I want to pursue in my life.
When we talk about success journey, right, there are 3, 4 factors of that. Once we say that, okay, my hard work, my dedication, my perseverance, my passion. Second, we say that my family support system. Third, we say my teachers, right, the test prep part and all. So the thing is that tell me something about your journey for your preparation strategy for NEET, and what were the key factors in your success? Let's answer the first question. Your preparation strategy for NEET.
So my strategy was firstly I focused on finishing the syllabus, and by that I mean finishing the core concepts. Then I used to practice questions in the
So when you are talking about the core concept, what did you focus on?
So NCERT was the main focus. However, the thing is that NCERT inherently is a very tough book for a child to simply open up and understand. So some outside help, a little bit of extra stuff, but eventually goal is to understand the NCERT.
But as you said that it is difficult to understand.
Yeah.
If you see even my video, I have gone through the the NCERT, and I have presented my views as how to go the chapter wise for JE, right, for physics, chemistry, and math, and chapter wise for NEET physics, chemistry, and biology. You would love to know that recently what we have done, that we have summarized the whole NCERT, in a very concise way, so that instead of going through the whole 10 pages or something, each chapter is having 3 to 4 pages, right? So that is it. So the thing is that what were the key factors? I already told you that there are 3, 4 points. So what do you think that in your journey of success to this Maulana Azad Medical College, right? That is here in Delhi NCR. Good thing is that any student who is out of India is able to claim 100% of seat here at Maulana Azad Medical College because of a technical reason that this MAMC Delhi is falling in National Capital Territory in Centrally Ruled District, right? So here, because this is the college, a lot of people would be focusing upon, right? And they are, I mean, when they're preparing for NEET, of course, the psychology of success is that you should put your best foot forward. Okay.
Yeah.
So the thing is that what basically, I mean, how do you think that what contributed to your success factor? Key factors.
I'd say first of all, I had an incredibly good support system in the form of my parents and teachers. So I could always come to them for doubts.
Your parents are also from medical background?
Yeah, like I just mentioned previously, they're also alumni from MEMC only. So I had
So
some
were they getting time just to teach you or to guide you or to motivate you?
not to teach as a guidance. It helps to have a support.
Motivation.
Yeah.
Right.
Second, I think the biggest sort of factor would be regular testing. So the fact is that in today's world, there are so many distractions with Instagram, friends, phone, whatever. So you need something to keep you on track where you can keep doing stuff and you can finish your syllabus in a designated time instead of procrastinating. So a regular testing, that's what I used to do to keep myself on track. That really helped me.
Right. So how did you avoid this procrastination? I mean,
I couldn't. So I knew that it is a very tough thing to do. So what I had was that Instagram, I had put like time limits on my phone that my mom knew the passwords to. So that way I could avoid it. And otherwise, that's the thing, right? If you have daily tests and if you set goals for yourself and then you have an accountability mechanism, then even if you don't want to, you don't have a choice. So I think that sort of keeps you up with the syllabus.
4 years back, what test prep card did that we basically did a research. I personally spoke with the UPSC toppers, then JE toppers, the NEET toppers, and CAT toppers. Right. The I spoke with the 30 students. One thing which I found common in all these students that they had maintained a separate distance from social media. Right. Someone said that okay, I was not in touch for 1 year. Others said that for last 2 years or something. Of course, there are repercussions of that. Yeah.
So yeah, what I'd like to add is that you don't necessarily have to be off social media. Like I was never off social media, but you have to control it. Like, there are both extremes. Some people just absolutely cut off. But if you feel you still want to stay in touch with your childhood friends, and that I feel is equally important in life. So then you should have a mechanism that you're only using it 10, 15 minutes, half an hour max to max a day. Like you
Okay.
shouldn't.
So you could control that instinct.
Because I didn't I put screen time limits and I didn't log it. I didn't keep it logged in on my phone, on my laptop. So that's how it helped.
Okay. So that was one thing which is hitting basically in the psychological aspect that I have to stay away from social media or I have to control my lust, my temptation for the social media. Right? It is something really great. We know that most of the students, they have already shifted on social media. And basically, that is a big wastage of time, but doing anything in a controlled way is really good, right? Social media, it also plays a big role, in giving you some sort of refreshment or something like that so that you stay connected to the world. That's it. Now, the thing is that once we have spoken about the psychological factor, this controlling the temptation and all. Now, the thing is that how did you manage your time for the preparation for NEET?
So time management is something I think that is incredibly personal to each person. Like you have to find your
Person means what? I mean to say
like you have to
that
find your
for, okay, for NEET, definitely you can't say that you studied 2 hours and you did that. You can't say you studied 4 hours, you did that. Common factor is that in terms of devoting your time to the preparation of NEET, everyone says that, okay, definitely 8 hours.
No, I
What
don't
is your view about this?
I don't agree to this hours method because what I've personally found is that everybody has a different pace and everybody has a sort of different amount of stuff they can do in a day. Instead of focusing on hours, an ideal concept is where you don't even know how much time you're studying for. You only know what you have to finish that day. So like let's say if I set a target for myself that I have to finish this chapter today, if I finish it in 2 hours, then I'm done and dusted. I don't need to study more. because I've set my timetable accordingly. But if it takes me the entire day and maybe a few hours of the night as well, then that's also okay. So I think focus on goals, because sometimes what it leads you to do is you're sitting with the book open and you're spending 6 hours, but you're not studying. So focus instead of the hours on the syllabus. That's what I did.
Well, again, we would like to know about your weakest and strongest points as a personality, as a NEET aspirant,
So
right?
my weakest point was definitely staying on track with the syllabus, which is today I think everybody's weakest point, which is the discipline that comes in. My strongest point I felt was that like I don't know. I mean, it was that I focused on the fundamental concepts more than I did on solving too many questions. My focus was on like revising the basics again and again, because NEET, like I said, has become an easier examination. So your basics need to be more solid.
Okay, here we are talking about your own strengths, your weakest and strongest point. Now let's talk about the subject. What do you think that out of these three, physics, chemistry, and biology, which one was the weakest of yours and which one was the strongest of yours? And if you find that one of these three was your weakest or two of three was, not good, then how did you overcome this difficulty?
Yeah, it's impossible to say which subject was weakest, which subject was strongest. There were certain topics in each subject that I found tough. There were certain topics that I breezed through. But if you say, like, I don't think any one subject was weaker or stronger. Like, it depended on the topic. Like, some days I enjoyed physics, some days I was bored of physics. So, I can't say that.
At test prep card here, we believe that, from NEET point of view or even from JEE point of view, right? We believe that chemistry is the most scoring and strongest. What are your views about that?
So, I I don't think I'm qualified enough to comment on that, but like incidentally, I think even I scored maximum in chemistry only.
So
So
you got in chemistry, right?
but I don't think so. I mean, like I said, right? I don't know. I can't speak to JE, but NEET today there is zero scope for error. So whether chemistry is maximum scoring or not doesn't matter. You have to score. You have to aim for scoring full. Only then you will get silly mistakes, a few questions that come here and there. So I don't think that. I don't know. I think it depends person to person. Some people find bio easiest, in my opinion. Others find physics.
Bio, they find is easiest because that is more about, uh, bio is more memory based. Okay. Bio
Chemistry is
is more,
only, matlab, yeah, I think it's tough to comment. It's so personal, it is so subjective.
right.
But yeah, very tough to comment on an entire subject.
So it is said that all work and no play make Jack a dull boy.
100%.
So what is your views about that? I mean, we would like to know that how
So
did you engage yourself in entertainment, extracurricular activities?
100% agreed that this exam is just a part of your life. You should not pause everything and work on this exam. You have to, like, just for your mental health also, you have to do. I used to play the guitar, play drums, dance also. So I had a few extracurriculars that I enjoyed doing. I used to watch Netflix also. It's not like everything has to be super productive. But again, I think it's all about time management. And also something you have to realize is that NEET is just the phase one. When I'm now in medical college, all of my knowledge of the world equally is as important as the stuff that I'm learning in class. So you don't have to be so disconnected that you have no clue what has happened in the past 2-3 years. So one has to stay focused on life also.
Let's see. The what I believe that the line is very thin between your social energy and your academic energy, right? So how did you maintain a balance between these two?
Social energy and academic. So I'll tell you what, I had a very strong boundary defined that when I was in class and I was studying for NEET, right, I did not focus on making friends over there. When I came, I had like very little social sort of setting with my friends from coaching school, all of that. But
So
I
this was before doing NEET,
know
before
this
cracking
is
NEET,
NEET
such a
preparation.
phenomenal performance, or even today, this is the thing because you also have to study for MBBS.
No, no. So just let me complete. So during the class, I was not focused on making friends. Like people were having fun during class. I was very focused on what I'm studying.
Yeah,
But when I
true.
came
Yeah.
home, I had my old friends, my society friends. So I used to hang out with them because I knew that if I get distracted in class, then that's going to carry forward into my academics. So when you're talking about a social life, like a line between social life and academic life, I think that's an incredibly important point, that one should not mix the both of them, and there should be a divide, a boundary that you have to maintain. Agree.
Okay. We all know that NEET syllabus is broad, right? We never say it is difficult or subjective, but we definitely say that it
It's
is
broad.
upon your aptitude that whether you make it subjective or objective. So NEET is all about 76 chapters of physics, chemistry, and biology, right? So once you started this journey, then how do you how do you define that the timeline and everything in order to finish this? How?
Okay, so how that works is like the
Of
first
course,
step.
experts were here just to guide you, but I would like to know that, I mean, until nobody is able to execute the things until unless you are, because you are a player on the front run, on the front. So all our stakes on you. How did you execute that? There are a lot of teachings, lot of strategies, lot of plans, but how did you execute that?
So first thing that people have to realize is they don't have to let like 76 subjects come into their heads, because the truth is, even if you are getting 720 out of 720, you're not sitting in the paper knowing everything. It is impossible to know everything. What you can do is that, see, when we do a chapter for the first time, it will take you a lot of time, 3 4 hours, maybe more. It could take 2 days also. But then the thing is, we have to focus on making a chapter easily revisable. That used to be my strategy, that when I'm doing a chapter, I have to do it so that I can
But
revise it.
that is not possible until you to convert the theories into the concept, and then you practice and practice and practice.
So,
And for all these stuff, you need to devote a time. So what are the time that you devoted for each chapter?
so I think bio first revision after class on my own used to take about 2.5 hours, 3 hours, 3.5 hours for one NCERT chapter, depending on the length of the chapter. So on an average,
Right.
I think this much used to take for the first revision. But you don't remember everything after that. You remember it for a period of 2 3 days max. But the thing is that as you keep on doing, I remember in the last few weeks I was at such a position where I could revise the entire biology syllabus in 3 4 days max. So because each chapter to revise me took half an hour, 45 minutes, since I'd highlighted all the important parts, so I could refer to that. So that is what somebody who's preparing has to focus on. Make the chapter easily revisable. If you do that, then you can increase the number of revisions and potentially remember more.
Now the thing is that need basically is a journey. It's a journey of knowing, learning, practicing, and all. So one thing which we know here at Test Prep Cart is the most important thing, right? That is basically your focus, your concentration, and your positive attitude, right? We also accept, because we have been teaching thousand of students, right? So we know that a flux is an inherent factor in this journey of preparation.
Yeah.
You can't be positive all the time. The flux will come. Sometime you'll go down, sometime you'll go up, sometime you're on high, sometime you're low. How did you maintain your positive attitude, your mindset?
To be absolutely candid, when I started 11th, there was COVID-19, and we had
Yeah,
everything was online. I also had some issues with my health. So first few months,
yeah,
I was not on track. So by the end of 11th, I had a lot of backlog as well. So there are ups and downs. Like in 11th, there were periods when I was not studying more than 1.5 hours, 2 hours a day. But then I had to make up for it. I remember at the end of 11th, I for about 1 or 2 months, all I did was this. So there will it's not going to be a straight line. Nobody is so consistent that you know they are the epitome of perfection. It all seems good when you look back at it, but when you're actually going through it, don't curse yourself too much. Don't think of all of the negative outcomes that can come. You just have to focus on giving your best. And if you focus on that, then there are enough seats for those who study and who are honest with themselves about their preparation, right? You know, luck can factor in as to making you get into AIMS or making you get into some other college in Delhi, or maybe even a few colleges below that. But luck cannot factor in into you not only getting a seat. So just remember that if you've prepared for it, you will get what you deserve, or a little bit around that, but you will not be left alone. So if you know that, then you keep a positive mindset. And speaking from someone who is in MBBS, most of the colleges are very much similar. Like there is no difference. Inherently, there's no difference in the teaching. It's all regulated by NMC. So don't think that you're going to get more advantages in MAMC, less in maybe some other college. It's all the same.
No, that's a great insight because you are an insider. You can give the right sort of information. Great. I mean, I'm sure that the people who are listening to us, they will be benefited by this and they will have a great insight. That's it. Now, I mean, now you have joined medicine in a very prestigious college, Maulana Azad Medical College here. So, what basically is your aspiration for future, and what basically in which specialty you want to go in future?
So I haven't really decided yet, as I'm still a first year, and we get more
Right.
exposure as we go into postings. But I mean, there are tons of options available. MAMC has a very rich USMLE culture, so I could potentially look into that, and maybe next. But as of now, I'm just keeping an open mind because I want to first get exposure of all the options available and then make a decision.
Right. Arush, a very important question, right? And this, I think we should definitely address the role of stress, the role of depression, the role of anxiety, right? During preparation, and even after that, we have heard some cases. What suggestion, what advice you would like to give to the students all over the world who are preparing for NEET?
So I think, I mean, all due respect to everybody who's on this channel and, who's doing NEET prep and everything. But, sometimes as a student, one can get overwhelmed by, everybody telling NEET, NEET, NEET. Your parents are saying NEET, your teachers are saying NEET, YouTube is saying NEET, everything is saying NEET. But at the same time, you have to realize that at the end of the day, it's just an exam. It's not life or death. Nothing's gonna happen if you become a doctor, if you don't become a doctor. And I know it's easier said because I'm the one who's saying this, but trust me, there are people who've taken 3-4 drops and who are still at the same place as me. So it does not matter. It is not life or death. There are people who have flunked NEET and who've gone into some other career and are doing way better than some of the doctors who are from prestigious colleges. So don't think that life matters on this alone. Keep a positive mindset, because remember that when you're giving the exam, right, the stress or anxiety that you keep while giving the exam is a far greater determinant of the rank you will have than the prep you did in the last 2-3 weeks. Because if you're stressed, you will make silly mistakes. It is just as simple as that. So one has to keep a cool mind, and you have to do each question without thinking ki, I've lost the previous few questions. Now I'm going to not get into any college and all of that. Keep a positive mind, focus on each question, do your best. And that is the way to maximize your potential. So that is
Okay.
something.
Great advice. And after you got your success in this, NEET, then what was your experience of counseling? How would you like to define that?
So fortunately, I did not have a lot of difficulty in choosing my college, because
Rank was superb. Yeah.
my rank, I had a fairly decent idea that I'd get into MAMC. And apart from that, I think counseling is necessary, and anybody who's looking to decide which college to go into, just before you put any college on like your preference list, speak to at least 3 to 4 students who are studying in that college. That's one advice I give, because the thing is that those who are currently in that college will give you a far better idea of what the facilities are and what the atmosphere is like than any pass out or any third person, or for that matter even this interview. If anybody wants to contact me, then they can contact me anytime. So I think that's just how it's done.
Yeah, definitely. All of you, you can contact Prepcart and your messages would be reaching to Arush. That's it. Now, Arush, what are your views about the cutoff for NEET? Any comment on that?
So in 2024, cutoff I think is definitely going to increase from what I've heard from my juniors, and I mean there's not a lot we can do about it, but we'll have to wait and watch for the results. I think it's going to increase a little bit from 2013, sorry 2023. This much I can say, but when you can't do anything about the cutoff, then I think just sit back, wait for your rank to come, and when the rank comes, go through the last year's list of what
Hmm.
is allotted at that rank, and then just make a list. Don't worry too much about cutoffs.
Right. Now, a very important question, Arush. I mean, what would you suggest to the future NEET aspirants all over the world? The test prep card students, even to the parents, right? That's it.
So I think we've covered a lot.
And what advice you would like to give them, whosoever are preparing for this NEET with a test prep card?
So I think we've covered a lot of the things. So definitely, first step I would like to give. First, I think two main things I'd like to say. First is focus on NCRT, and do that book properly. By properly, I mean do all the back questions, all the diagrams, and do it 3-4 times at least, if not more. So that will give you a very solid background in the exam. And the thing is, you can go through the PYQs to kind of figure out what the examiner wants from NCRT. So once you get into the examiner's head, there's no going back. That's the first
Okay.
piece of.
Yeah.
The second piece of advice I'll give.
Examiner said, right.
Yeah,
Get
you have to get into the examiner's head. You don't have to be a contestant. You have to figure out what they're trying to gauge. I think that's the secret. Then the second thing that I'd like to say is that don't take stress. Stress is literally the one thing that I have friends who I feel were better prepared than me, more hard work, but there's still 4-5 questions like below me in the NEET rank, but that's only because they were more stressed during the paper. So you have to be very calm and composed. I think a few mock tests, in fact, every mock test that you do has to be first and foremost a test of how calm and composed you are during the exam. Secondly, it has to be a test of your knowledge, because your exam giving is going to impact your rank way more than your prep is going to in the last few weeks.
so, Rahul, I mean, sorry, Arush, it was really a very candid conversation with you, right? And I'm sure the way you have explained the things in such an articulate and erudite way, the students from all over the world in US, Middle East, Southeast Asia, here in India, they are going to be benefited, immensely with your thoughts, with the words and advice, right? Thank you very much, Arush. Thank you very much, and all the best for all your future endeavors. Thank you.
Thank you.